All right, West Virginia fans, game-changing signing day. Yesterday was a historic day to be a West Virginia Mountaineer. We signed the best recruiting class that we have in a very long time, and it shows that the program is heading in the right direction. On tonight's show, I'll break down some of my favorite recruits in the class and what it means for the West Virginia Mountaineers moving forward. Before we do that, a quick reminder, if you're a West Virginia fan, please remember to like and subscribe to JerseyEER. We really appreciate all the support. With that being said, let's get into the topics. So, first thing I want to talk about is how this relates to the past years. You can see from the graphics, a lot of the time we are in the 30s, the 40s, sometimes the 50s with recruiting classes. It's been that way for about the last 10 years. It was trending that way as of a few weeks ago, but then you have a huge pickup, a huge commitment from Kevin Brown, and we started to gain a lot of momentum on the recruiting trail. This is absolutely huge and crucial for the West Virginia football program moving forward. I think as a West Virginia fan, we're always concerned about the money. We're always concerned that we can't hang with the big dogs in terms of NIL, rev share, and all the things that come with a top Division One football program. Now, the rev share is at full capacity now, and that's a good thing. And our NIL has been improving through Ren Baker and the athletic department and all the fundraising they've been doing. So this was a good sign yesterday. Rich Rodriguez has shown extreme confidence that he is going to turn this around. We saw glimpses of that this year, but we had to see a little bit more going into the offseason. And this is the first step, signing a massive recruiting class. They had over 40 players signed in this recruiting class, spanning over 24 states. So they're going to cast of a huge net out there to get as many recruits as they can, because last year the number was so small and many of those guys didn't even make it to fall camp. So this was a huge boost for the football program and Rich Rodriguez. The coaches did an outstanding job of getting these guys on visits, getting them to commit to the West Virginia Mountaineers. And we made noise yesterday on the recruiting trail. And this program desperately needed something like this to boost the program and to boost the perception of the program. So yesterday was absolutely massive for West Virginia. Now, remember, this is just the recruiting class. A lot of these guys are going to be high school guys and JUCO players, so you might not see a huge turnaround next season from this, right? It might take a year or two, but I think we're going to see steady improvement if we can continue to stack classes like this and get into the top 25 range. It would be essential for the West Virginia football program. So yesterday was a good sign to be a part of the West Virginia football program. All right, let's talk about the head of the class. The reason why we are in the top 25 and 21st, according to some other outlets out there, is because of these four players. Kevin Brown, 6'5", 270, a four-star player from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We know his story well, right? Dad went to West Virginia, played under Rich Rodriguez. He was a Penn State commit. Rich Rod had some really good things to say about him in his press conference, and they were blown away with how much of a monster this kid was, and they had to get him signed. So Rich Rodriguez kept calling it cracks from the Penn State situation, and once there was a crack, they knew they had to go full go for him, and they did. And that was, again, the momentum shifter that we needed. Kevin Brown, I expect him to be a starter next year. Then, late in the day, after the press conference, Amari Latimer signs and flips from Wisconsin to West Virginia. 5'11", 230, powerful back, a four-star from Tyrone, Georgia. Massive get for the West Virginia class. Rich Rodriguez is going to stack up on running backs. There's a lot of good ones in this class, and he's going to be the head of that class. I think he's a guy that's going to contribute right away. I think with this era of college football, if you have guys that are these talented, you have to find a way to get them on the field in some capacity right away. And I think that will be the case with this guy. He has a high ceiling, so we were excited to see that. West Virginia has their power back with this guy. Matt Sieg, 6 foot 180, 4-star player from Fort Cherry High School, Pennsylvania, only 45 minutes up the road. Rich Rodriguez said that this guy can be a two-way player for the West Virginia Mountaineers, and that was part of the recruiting pitch to him. He's very dynamic with the ball in his hands, and he has a chance to play early at that safety position and defensive back. So this was a surprise as well. He had West Virginia out of his top four, as you guys know, and he was a Penn State commit at one point, and it really looked like Virginia Tech had a good shot at him with James Franklin, and Pitt even sent the recruiting truck, their equipment truck up there for his game, but he liked what West Virginia was putting down. He liked the recruiting pitch, and this is a huge get for West Virginia's class. And then Vincent Smith, 6'2", 200, 4-star, the number fifth overall cornerback in the class from Illinois. He was a 3-star as of a few weeks ago, got a bump in the ratings, which is good to see. So these guys are the reason, like I said earlier, that we have a top 25 class. You need 4 stars in the fold, and these guys are going to have high expectations as soon as they get on campus coming up shortly. All right, we mentioned Matt Sieg before as a two-way player. Rich Rodriguez yesterday in his press conference also mentioned other guys that could potentially play two ways. Noah Tischendorf, he's coming over from Oregon. So all the way across the country, he mentioned that he could be an edge rusher and a tight end and do a lot of different things. So that was good to hear. Xavier Anderson from Martinsburg, West Virginia. Martinsburg, a great high school for football in the state of West Virginia. His brother Max is actually on the team. They decided that they were really going to push and try to get him to flip his commitment and stay home, which he decides to do. He talked about him playing two ways, and then we mentioned Sig earlier. So again, you're going to see this more often with West Virginia. If you're going to get 4 stars in the program, why not utilize them as best you can? Put them on a special teams, put them on offense, put them on defense. You saw Utah do it this year. We've seen it with Travis Hunter and Miles Jack years ago. So I think this is a trend that you're going to continue to see in college football. So look out for that with this class and these players for West Virginia. Next Chance U ? So if you remember the critically acclaimed Netflix series Last Chance U, great series by the way, that was about guys being bounce backs or not getting offers out of high school and going to JUCO as their last chance. Well, now it seems like we might be the next Chance U. We signed a number of junior college commitments, and they're highly touted junior college commitments. Keon Hutchins, let's talk about him. He committed a week ago, decommitted, and then signed back to West Virginia all within a week. So that was surprising to see him sign again. Him and Triplet are two guys that are fast and have size. So it's exciting to have those guys in the fold. Wide receiver is a position that we're going to try to have a boost in. So I'm looking forward to watching those guys play. And then the defensive backs that you see on the screen here with Williams, Allen, and Reynolds, they're really big bodies. You're talking 6'3" height. And Rich Rodriguez talked about that on his press conference as well yesterday, is that guys were in position to make plays, but they couldn't make plays on the ball because of their size. They're really trying to fix that with this class here, this JUCO class, and they're going to try to fix that again in the portal in a few weeks. So that was good to see. And then you see the other guys that are here as well. So I think JUCO, I think it's low risk, high reward, to be honest. You know, we've seen the successful JUCO guys in the past, like a Kevin White, like a Rasul Douglas, and this stuff can pay off. And Rich Rodriguez likes these guys' mindset because they're coming from really tough places. You know, it's not lavish at JUCO. You don't have, tens of thousands of people going to your games. They don't have crazy NIL packages. They don't have the attention that they do here in the facilities and the amenities. So he likes their mindset. So it'll be interesting to see which of these guys break through and can make an immediate impact for the West Virginia Mountaineers next season. And then other notable guys I want to touch on real quick. I'm not going to talk about all 43 guys. I attempted to make a slideshow of all 43 guys and talk about them, but you guys can read, you guys get it. I'm not going to bore you talking about 43 or 45 different guys as this class grows. But I will talk about the notable ones that I have my eye on for different reasons. Camden Goforth and Rhett Morris. Let's talk about them first. Let's start with Camden Goforth. He's a guy that has been really active on social media. He likes engaging with the West Virginia fans. Seems like a hard-edged player that is going to put guys into the ground, and I'm excited to watch him play for those reasons. Rhett Morris is a guy that has been on the show twice now. I keep in touch with him, and super excited to see what he can do for West Virginia and what kind of career he's going to have. His tape's amazing. He plays against the best competition in New Jersey, and Don Bosco Prep played a national schedule this year, and he did amazing things for them. And you'll love this kid's tape. I like his chances to do good things as a West Virginia Mountaineer. Malachi Thompson, Nitro, West Virginia. Rich Rodriguez really raved about him in his press conference. But even before then, I really had my eye on this kid. 6'4" height, and he has crazy numbers in the state of West Virginia. You know he's going to be a fan favorite because he's from the state of West Virginia. So I'm really looking forward to watching him play. John Johnson's listed as an athlete, but he's a quarterback that put up ridiculous numbers. Louisiana to West Virginia yesterday, and it was a surprise. So he's an athletic quarterback. So you know how Rich Rodriguez likes those guys. So I was excited to see him. Sir Paul Cheeks is another one. I know we talked about Latimer as the other running back, but you cannot forget Sir Paul Cheeks. He had an injury this year, unfortunately, an ACL. He's going to be nursing that back, but this kid was highly touted in his recruiting process. A lot of people were trying to get in on him, and West Virginia got the deal done. So excited to watch him. J-Ron Hewley is another one of those quarterbacks. So over the years, it's going to be interesting to see him and Johnson and to see which one of those guys develops and really changes that. You also have Wyatt Brown in that class. The Moya kid is huge at 6'7", and then Emery Snyder is another guy. I like his film. He's from Oklahoma, so he has a long trek to West Virginia, but like his film, he's a big guy at 6'4" at that safety position. Again, West Virginia is really trying to get up on the size in the secondary with this class. And then we're not done yet. You know, there's still a lot of work to do. This was just one step of the process. First things first, as you guys know this all too well, the retention of the current roster. There's going to be a lot of difficult decisions for the West Virginia coaching staff to make. It'll be interesting to see which guys were contributors this year that are told to leave or they leave on their own. That's going to be really interesting. So far, the latest I've checked, no one has really announced they're going into the portal. There's been some hints at things, but so far nothing official yet. So again, I'm keeping my eye on that. I'm a little surprised that no one has announced anything. Rich Rodriguez mentioned he's looking at 12 to 15 transfer portal additions in this class. He was asked at what positions, and he said pretty much at every position they are looking to upgrade. He said at his press conference yesterday that he believes in competition and that competition brings the best out of people. Iron sharpens iron. So this is going to be, it's going to sound like another crazy camp season, if I'm going to be honest. You know, last year was crazy because every position was up for grabs, and it sounds like something similar is going to be coming to Morgantown again next year. And then spring ball too is going to be important. So out of this class, there's 45 guys roughly that have signed. They said about 35 are going to enroll early and be on campus. That's a great sign for West Virginia. That's a great sign for these young players' development. It's one thing to be at your high school or at your JUCO, but it's another thing to be in that program with Rich Rod, lifting weights, doing the OTAs, and getting into a full spring. Having the system be there and the development of a player, it's going to be absolutely huge for these players and their development. So that's another step of the process. Who knows what else will happen? What else will throw our way? You know, it feels like the season, it just ended, but it feels like it was like 5 weeks ago now. It feels like it was forever ago because we're all turning the page to next season. So I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Again, 45 players, crazy day yesterday. A lot of exciting stuff going on with West Virginia. I appreciate you guys. Remember to like and subscribe to the show. We'll talk to you next time. Let's go, Mountaineers.